Now I come into my last point. Oh, I'm good in time. How population is growing and which kind of generation is the next one? If you look at that slide, this is the amount of the amount of citizens on planet Earth. And they all want to live like you. They want to have a job, they want to have their family, living in trust, protected by the states, fresh air, water, whatever. And in less than 10 years, it will increase more than 700 million people. 700 million people is like continental Europe. That is a huge amount of people in less than 10 years. But the biggest difference is like Africa and Asia. And the typology of this next generation is special because this generation is really critical. You could love greater or you could hate greater. But what we have to understand, this generation knows they easily could achieve 100 years. And if you understand you could achieve 100 years, but the planet is burning, you start to fight for climate change. Like today, this activist on the highway going down like Tarzan on a rope. So I really understand their issues. So have in mind, what we create today will be taken over by a generation, and this one is totally different. And it doesn't matter if you're in Manila, if you're in Japan, if you're in the States, in Africa, or in Europe. The other point is like organizations are changing. So that means these kids grown up much more in a connected world. So connectivity for these kids is really important for this generation. They have a seamless experience most of this day. They can interact with anybody. For that reason, we need new kind of buildings. But these buildings don't have to be new. They could be old, but they could be kind of a new programming like software. The building you see on the picture is here east. Here east is the old press center of the Olympic Games in London. And now it's taken over as a multi-use space. Like in the beginning, the first tenants was startups, larger companies, smaller companies, universities, artists, and now it's a giant mix of people. And this giant mix is, I would say, the prototype of spaces of tomorrow, where you get a kind of exploration and social learning to tackle the new challenges. So one point is, regarding this generation, whoever follows the rules of nature will succeed. Or it's not enough to have a commercial perspective inside your organization. You also have to embed a society contribution inside your organization. And the other point is, we should not be aware about empty office buildings, what we have to learn to program them new. So by all the things about the future, it's not only the future, but it's also what was much more stronger is our memories out of the past. The books you see here, there are 3 great books. They're all published in the States. And they are older than 50 years. Older than 50 years. The whole Earth catalog, it's like the internet as a printed issue, where a group collected every year the best things around the globe, publish it in a book, and send it out so that everyone get access to the newest information, first. Second is, this rain book is like an idea, and that time about a utopian city, driven by renewable energies, no cars inside, vertical gardens overall, local farming, all the points you would wish for yourself, what is your preferred future, was published 50 years ago. And the Universal Traveler is like the book you would say today like would show up with the design methods. So, what we have to do is we have to learn to frame. So framing is only trained if you study design or some of these design disciplines. Why that is important? We have to take over the opportunity to read signals every day, to read our environment, and to ask ourselves what that means for me, for my company, and for my customers in 5 or 10 years from now.